for permission, but for power. Break the lie, reclaim the flame, speak the fire, say your name. This is our truth, this is our time. Break false hope, not a warning, a reckoning behind the line.
Break false hope. Break false hope.
I'll put on the old 45s, and maybe the old songs will bring back the old times. Maybe the old lines will sound new. Maybe she'll lay her head on my shoulder. Maybe old feelings will come through. Maybe we'll start to cry and wonder why we ever walked away. Maybe the old songs will bring back the old times and make her want to stay.
Hi, I'm Jill, a Break False Hope narrator. Before we begin Vicky's story, I want to ground us in something real. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, about 1 in 4 women will experience severe intimate partner violence in their lifetime. These stories aren't rare. They happen in our neighborhoods, our workplaces, our families, and often in homes that look perfectly stable from the outside. And Vicky's story is one of them. On the surface, she was the neighbor everyone trusted. The one with the good sangria, the organized events, the committees she somehow ended up running. She lived in a quiet, gated community people assume is safe by default. But behind that was a relationship that started sweet, shifted into control, and eventually changed her life in ways she never expected. Today, you'll hear Vicky's story in her own words, from the beginning, through the unraveling, into survival, disability, and the complicated way she learned to keep going. This isn't a story about why didn't she leave. It's about what it costs to love someone who slowly rearranges your life while you're still planning a future with them. Take a breath, settle in. This is Vicky's story. Vicky always starts her story right here, in that long driveway, groceries in her hand, 6 months pregnant, just trying to get home, make dinner, and settle her nerves after the chaos that went down at work. She wasn't expecting anything unusual. She wasn't thinking about danger. She was thinking about getting inside, putting the bags down, and breathing for a minute. But the moment she turned into that driveway, something felt off. Not dramatic, not loud, just wrong. The lights were dim, and they're never dim. The garage door was open, and it's never open. And the music? It was turned up louder than he ever played it when he was alone. Not blaring, just louder than made sense. There were no other cars, no voices, no signs of company. Just that music, and that strange stillness underneath it. And then it happened. The goosebumps. Not the kind you get when you're cold, not the kind you get from a song. These were different, sharp, immediate, rising across her arms one after another, like her skin was trying to warn her before her mind understood why. She would tell you today she had never felt goosebumps like that before, and she has never forgotten them since. She didn't stop walking. She didn't freeze. She didn't stand there trying to figure anything out. She kept moving toward the house, with dinner on her mind and hoping for a peaceful conversation with Liam. She stepped into the garage, calling his name over the music. No answer. Checked the downstairs. Nothing. Just that music and that uneasy feeling sitting in her chest. She started toward the stairs with the groceries still in her hand, and that's when he jumped out. Out of nowhere, dressed in full army gear, face cold, voice low and sharp. "You ready for war, bitch?" The groceries hit the floor, and she just took off running, out the same way she came in, through the garage, down that long driveway that suddenly felt twice as long. 6 months pregnant, heart pounding, breath breaking, crying, talking to herself, begging her legs to move faster. She never looked back, not once. She didn't hear footsteps. She didn't hear a car. She had no idea how close he was. But when she reached the end of the driveway, he was already there, standing like a soldier, waiting, blocking her way out. She didn't know he'd bought a mountain bike, didn't know he cut through the woods, didn't hear the wheels slicing through the brush because her own heartbeat was too loud. She froze. The baby stopped moving. Her whole body went numb. And then a car pulled up, lost, looking for an address. He switched instantly, voice soft, smile polite, helping the couple like he wasn't hunting her seconds before. He gave her that look, that quiet, chilling promise. "I'm not finished." And the moment he turned his head, she ran. Back to the house, back to her car, back to her only chance. She sped past all of them, him, the couple, the driveway, like her life depended on it. Because it did. And that's where her story begins.
If you rewind my story a few years, I wasn't this version of myself. I was the girl who brought the good sangria to the cookouts, the one who played cards on Friday nights, laughed too loud, and always had a casserole in the freezer just in case. I was 20, working at this office where everyone dressed like they were interviewing for the CEO job. And he was one of those men, pressed suit, perfect tie, the kind of guy who held doors and remembered your coffee order. I didn't think he noticed me, but he did. And when he started flirting, girl, I felt like I'd won something. We weren't supposed to date, company rules, but we were doing that little dance anyway. Smiling too long, inside jokes, lunch breaks that weren't really about lunch. 1 month in, we were already sleeping together. 3 months in, we were living together. Everybody at work was whispering, but we thought we were being slick. And honestly, back then it felt fun. It felt grown. It felt like the start of something real. My family liked him. His family liked me. People were talking about marriage before we ever did. And I believed it. I believed in him. I believed in the future I thought we were building. I was planning a life, while he was slowly rearranging mine. And the wildest part? Back then, I was still soft. Still the girl who baked for the neighborhood and volunteered for everything. That's actually how I ended up on the HOA board. First as a helper, then somehow the president. I didn't even see the shift happening. 1 minute I was passing out flyers for the block party, and the next minute I was the woman everyone called when somebody's trash cans were left out too long. But looking back now, that was the first sign of something else. The first sign of how easily he could keep tabs on me. Because once I became HOA president, he suddenly had a reason to show up everywhere. Meetings, events, neighborhood walkthroughs. He'd pop in just to support me, but really he was watching. Watching who I talked to. Watching how long I talked. Watching if I laughed too hard or stood too close to any of the men in the community. I thought I was stepping into leadership,
But really, I was stepping deeper into his control. The thing about control is, it doesn't show up all at once. It creeps in. Quiet, polite, reasonable. At first it was little comments about my clothes, my friends, my laugh. Nothing big enough to call out, but sharp enough to make me second-guess myself. Then came the jealousy. The questions that weren't questions. Who was that? How long were you talking? Why did he smile at you like that? And every time I defended myself, he twisted it, made me feel dramatic, guilty, like I was the problem. And the cheating? That broke something in me. Not just because he did it, but because he made me feel like I caused it. Like if I were prettier, quieter, more agreeable, he wouldn't have slipped. That's when the shame set in. The shrinking, the eggshell walking. The version of me that apologized for things I didn't do. I stayed longer than I should have, because I loved him, thought I could fix it, didn't want to start over. But eventually, I left. I got out. I rebuilt. I tried to move on. I had a baby, a home, peace, or something close to it. And then one day, he resurfaced, out of nowhere, like a shadow I thought I'd outrun. He forced his way back into my life, and what happened next changed everything. And then, in the middle of all that chaos, there was this moment. He picked up my baby, held him gently, kissed him, laid him on my chest like he was placing something precious back where it belonged. And then he was gone. I survived injuries I shouldn't have survived. Injuries that altered my body, my future, my sense of safety. Injuries doctors said should have ended my life, but didn't. He had shot me 3 times. Once in the arm and twice in the stomach. Like smoke. Like a nightmare slipping out before sunrise. I survived, but survival came with a cost. My body changed. My abilities changed. My life changed. I became disabled, cautious, someone who double-checks every lock, sleeps with the lights on, and doesn't let anybody get too close. People say time heals everything. They don't understand. Some things don't heal. Some things you learn to carry. I rebuilt my life. I raised my child. I kept going. But love? Love became something I watched from a distance. Something I wanted but didn't trust myself to reach for. And that's where my story ends. Not with a bow or a fairy tale, but with truth. I survived, but I never went back to who I was. And maybe that's okay. Maybe surviving is enough.
I would like to say thank you to Vicky for her bravery sharing her story. It's not an easy thing to do, but much needed in the healing of your soul. The healing of helping others in similar situations like yourself, and the prevention of some becoming the situation. For Vicky, it was Liam. If you would like to share your story about an experience with an abusive relationship, please reach out to our judgment-free platform, and we will be happy to assist you. I'm Jill, and until the next time I tell you a story, take care for now.
We could share